Hey everyone, it's Christine. It's been a long road, but we've nearly reached the conclusion of Chronicles of the Gatekeeper Act 2, which means it's time for another Q&A episode. Send in your questions about the act, the characters, and our experiences to heroes@theheidiandway.com or on the Heroes of the Heidi and Way's Discord Q&A channel. With that out of the way, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force.
They've outgrown their age of rebellion, dulled the Empire's edge, defeated Imperial generals and the Pirate Queen's dredge. They've been soldiers and scoundrels, what's there left to be? How about lost acolytes looking for their force and destiny? There's a seer, hermit, investigator, and teacher. Better watch your back or a vibro ring's gonna reach you. Will this team find the light or will darkness win the day? Find out with the heroes of the Heidi and Way.
Previously on Heroes of the Heidi and Way, the four arrived on Cato Nemoidia seeking answers about Soldier Ward as well as one of the missing crystals from his holocron. They collected clues and followed the Jedi's trail the full height and depth of the city of Jorah, most recently seeking answers amongst the rubble of a decrepit palace, devoid of life, but still protected by teams of war droids. After fighting one of their fiercest battles yet, they took a moment to breathe and rest. It was time to depart the shadowed halls, crystal in hand. But their path is troubled. How to return to the light? Join them this week in Pineapple.
Welcome to Heroes of the Heidi and Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast, and we're playing in Fantasy Flight Games' Force and Destiny system, using the Chronicles of the Gatekeeper adventure as developed by Tim Cox and Max Brook. This is Act 2, Episode 26, and I'm Ben, the GM for this adventure.
I'm Koba, the Doug Sentinel investigator / Shian expert / the only guy in the group who can use a lightsaber. Well,
I can use a lightsaber.
I feel like everybody else had plenty of time to prepare for this eventuality.
I mean, I gave you my lightsaber, but that's just because I'm nice like that.
Yeah.
Didn't I use a lightsaber to cut down a thing from the ceiling?
Yes.
In a very technical way.
All of us can use
have used one of those things physically in an application.
I haven't. I'm just me.
I'm just saying for the record, Koba, you don't need a specialization to be able to wield a lightsaber.
But Koba is an expert. He said so himself.
You know, he's been saying that a lot. Has anyone ever stopped to consider that maybe that's not a real thing?
I trust.
Shian?
I trust him implicitly, even if I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Okay, well, I think that every time that we introduce ourselves, we should make up something that we're an expert in.
Oh, my name is Hilary Al-Orok. I am a sagely teacher who is an expert in performance toast making.
My name is Kesh. I'm the Trandoshan Mystic Seer, and I'm an expert in wearing scarves.
What?
Hello.
Scarves! Like this, I've got one of Billows. It's nice.
It's very dashing, if I do say so myself.
No, that makes total sense. Scarves are really confusing because I've seen people that do this weird thing where they sort of knot it and tuck it in, and then some people do that thing where they just kind of flip it around their neck a few times and it kind of floats behind them and they look all mysterious. When I put on a scarf, with my head frills and things, I feel like it just looks like I've got a really big neck. I could use some scarf expert.
I'll teach you everything I know, kid.
That's really useful. It's so nice to have an expert on something in this group.
And you are?
Speaking of, I'm Skip. I am a Clarion Seeker Hermit, and I am the group's expert joy maker. Like a morale person.
Fair enough.
Morale officer?
We're not that official.
The only one of you that listed an actual skill is Hillary.
And I am very good at it.
I think that what we probably actually need is a food poison taster expert.
I feel like nobody's been poisoned.
We don't know that. We don't know what happened to all of you that ate the weird donuts.
If I die 5 years from now, falling off something onto my head, are you going to blame the donuts?
Mhm.
Okay, fair enough.
That donut, cut into your agility or something.
There's a very slow-acting neurotoxin from Clactor 7 that takes about 5 years.
And when I die, you can check my kidneys. Or liver, I guess.
Do all of us even have kidneys?
To learn more about our heroes, we get one to ask another a question. And it is now Hillary's turn.
The question is, do you have kidneys?
I mean, that was right there.
Yes, I think so. I don't think I lost them anytime. The past few
Are they
decades.
In
robotic?
6 different colors.
Maybe.
Cash.
Yes, Hillary.
You can jump very high,
Yes,
And
so
you-
can Skip.
can summon lightning,
Yes.
and you can move things with your mind.
Yes.
What is your next magic power going to be?
Oh, well, this is a jerk move, Leslie. That's
What do you mean?
hard. That's hard to say. I feel like we've been tossing around a lot of ideas. Maybe I'll be able to create things with my mind. Maybe I'll just be unkillable. That seems like a very useful power right about now.
It does. I'd like to be able to create things too.
Maybe I'll be able to look through walls. Maybe
Hmm.
I'll be really good at finding things.
Isn't that a Gand thing?
What?
What?
No. Ugh, Gand. What a ridiculous tradition.
What?
Yes. The Gand are clearly the only ones who have ridiculous traditions.
Yes.
Pat,
Yes,
pat.
they are. Cash says as she pulls out like a data pad and makes another mark on it. I'm up to 26 points on this adventure alone.
That's very nice, dear.
It's actually pretty low. I really need to work on this more. You haven't been letting me kill people, so...
I feel really called out right now for something that I feel is probably not call out worthy.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Never met a Gand who would let somebody else tell them not to do their findsman stuff.
Ness.
Okay, I'm feeling personally attacked right now.
I have not touched you. I patted you, so fine. Whatever.
I think Carl was throwing the lightsaber at all of us. Not just you.
You know what? I'm going to protect myself from further inquiry in this question.
I don't think I've ever met a Gand, but there was a famous bounty hunter Gand, right?
Yeah.
With a strange name.
Zuckus is a fairly normal Gand name.
Oh yeah, that's the name. Yep.
The only Gand I really ever heard a lot of was the one that was doing promotions for Biscuit Baron.
Oh, those things? Those were pretty tacky.
Oh, but they seemed to be having so much fun. You almost didn't care. Cash, you're doing a really bad job of protecting yourself from further inquiry.
It's okay. You're talking about some Gan now. I feel
Okay.
pretty comfortable about that. Go ahead, have at them. Our destiny pool for this session consists of 2 light side points and 3 dark side points.
I mean, it's about as balanced as an odd number can be.
Yes, thank you. I think it was Leslie who rolled all of our light
Bam.
side.
Yeah,
It
I rolled
tore
a
eye.
dark.
Yeah. Hillary is the bright center of the universe.
Well, thank you.
The camera starts with rock arches soaring miles above it as it moves, flying over mist below the fading and disappearing bridge city of Jorah to the left. There's a rise in the mist before the camera, rising up slowly. Suddenly, the mist parts to show a fin and the sound of an engine straining. Then, the engine coughs and stutters. The fin drops below the surface of the mist just before the sheathopod rises up and strains to stay above the cloud bank, trailing mists and showing the back hatch only partially closed. A Kalern sitting at the controls with their noseless face, a mask of desperation, and an Alina sitting in the co-pilot seat attempting to help. A Trandoshan and a Doug sitting near the cockpit looking at each other as the engines sputter again. Just behind the old Separatist shuttle, a man in a jetpack follows along, a glint of metal in his hand as he gets close enough to throw something. Off to his right is another seeming to be hanging from a spinning glowing plate of red by one arm as he looks on with a severe helmet. As the two trailing Imperials draw closer, suddenly a flash of metal leaves the men in the jetpack, and the bent metal of a vibro-ring embeds itself in the cabin wall right next to Koba's head.
Hey, they do come back.
He's gonna regret that. Koba yanks the vibro ring out of the wall.
Is Carl following us with a helicoptering lightsaber?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, why? Is that weird? Is that weird to you?
That seems weird to me.
No, it's not. It's very normal. It's canon.
I believe you. I guess.
Okay, so Koba, I think this means you can fly, so have at it.
His lightsaber has a whole rotating component that mine doesn't.
Just spin it really fast. You got 4 limbs.
You've got crazy jumping powers. Maybe you can fly.
Can we please focus on landing?
Well, I'm not driving, so it's not really my problem.
I don't know if it'll be landing so much as crashing.
I don't care. I want to be not here.
Skip, how are we doing with the crashing thing?
Well, as the expert morale officer here, we're doing great.
What about as the pilot?
How are we doing?
The Separatist shuttle that you're in, yeah, it's got this giant fin on the back, the sheathopede. I'm figuring that it's down to essentially one engine that's working on it because it was in a Clone Wars battle and just never upkept. So it's been in the weather for like 20 years. Thinking that it would be not doing that well. Like, it's not able to go up that well. You're able to get to move forward. And also, some Yahoo in a rocket pack is gaining on you.
So when in reality, when Koba asks Skip how we're doing, Skip is sort of, gritting their... Do I have teeth? I don't think I have teeth.
Bony ridge?
I have like a bony plate. Skip has just, their jaw set and is, white knuckling the controls of this thing. I'm trying, Koba. I don't like this ship.
Is there stuff in the back?
A little bit. And also the door on the back of it isn't closing all the way. And the ramp has only half retracted.
Yeah, but are there like crates or bodies or bits of droids or things
or crates
back here?
of bodies?
It would be macabre.
There would be a few, like maybe a crate or two, but there isn't all that much. It looks like this was a diplomatic transport.
Okay.
So there's not overly that much in it.
Okay, I have an idea. It's not a very complicated one, but
Start pushing things out the back.
I'm going to start throwing things at them through the back.
Even better.
So, especially if Dallin is being pretty much on our tail with the jetpack, I'm going to see if I can take one of these crates and telekinetically chuck it at him.
Ooh, fun.
Okay. That could be a thing.
At least trying to get him to back off. So what kind of range bands are we dealing with here?
Right now, he would have to be at medium.
Okay.
I figure, yeah, both him and Carl are at medium.
Okay.
The other one's close enough that, yes, you actually can tell that it's Carl.
Okay.
You recognize the armor that he's been wearing, but he now has a pretty severe helmet on. Looks slightly Vader-ish.
This is a discipline check on my part. What kind of adversary and defense am I looking at for targeting Dallin?
He is adversary 2, defense 1.
Okay. So 2 red and a setback. Since I'm not doing anything else, I'm going to aim with my maneuver. And we'll just take it from there.
Okay.
Oh, nice. That makes perfect sense.
Oh.
Are dots connecting?
Okay. I generated 3 successes, 2 light side points, and 2 dark side points. And the crate is what, silhouette 1?
Yeah, I'll go with the silhouette 1, sure.
Okay. So I need to spend 1 to activate the power, 1 to pick up the crate, and I'll need to flip and take some conflict and strain to get the range. So I think, let me double check this. I think I'm just going to spend the 1. Ben, you said there were a couple crates back here, right?
I do believe I said that, yes.
How would it work if I activated magnitude in this particular instance?
Can she auto-fire crates with her mind?
I don't have advantages, so it's not quite the same thing, but it's okay if the answer is this, it doesn't work in this context. I'm just looking at possibilities.
Yeah, at the moment I'm thinking that doesn't really work in this context, that it's sort of a quick reaction to fling 1 instead of...
Okay. Then in that case, I will only spend the 1 dark side point for 1 conflict and strain, and that'll be a 13 damage attack at Dallin.
With that, I'm kind of thinking that he's opening the throttle in his jetpack to try and catch up.
But he's doing it carefully, so he doesn't get a crate to the face again.
Dallin got the crate to the face, some flimsoplast and a set of armor go flying as the crate breaks across him, and he then turns up his jetpack so that he's getting in closer. And I'm kind of thinking that we should go into structured time.
That's probably a good idea, because
Yeah, let's do this thing.
otherwise Kesh is just going to keep hitting him. So is this
Koba
cool?
also has plans, but yeah.
Is this cooler vigilance?
I mean, you've known about them since the get-go. I really think that it should be a cool thing for y'all.
Okay.
I think it should be cool for them, too.
Okay. Ward's Foresight. Brandon, I choose you.
I technically had already rolled. I'm happy to roll again, or we can just add me where I would go.
Yeah, roll again.
Hey, you did better.
Yeah, I did. I technically did marginally better.
Okay. Ren, I choose you.
Boom.
Leslie.
Bam. Oh no, I forgot to hit the button. That's what I get for
That
sitting here
looked
being
right.
smug about being ready.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't have
I'm going to
pieces.
toss mine in. I'll spend the 1 pip I have to activate Ward's Foresight, and the rest of them are useless.
And cool is presence. Oh,
I really shouldn't start writing the totals down, or the order down, since the bad guys haven't rolled yet.
Yeah.
I got all excited.
So far, our order is easy, though, because it's one success, 2 success, 3 success, 4 success. The advantage is everybody's rolled.
It's all right. One of them's probably an enhanced nemesis anyway, right? It's just accounting for that.
I mean, Dallin was.
this really should be 2 enhanced.
That makes sense.
Carl also makes sense. So I'm just going to keep that 1 there.
Yep.
That's fair.
I'm good with that.
That tracks.
Okay.
This could be interesting and uncomfortable.
Okay. We just got a sandwich going on.
A 2 PC, 2 NPC, 2 PC, 2 NPC, because they're both enhanced nemesis. Nemesises?
Nemesis. That was Mystery Man reference. May I go?
Go for it.
Because Koba also wants to throw things. One thing. One
Please
specific
don't lose
thing.
my lightsaber crystal.
Look, I can't make any promises.
Okay.
Koba makes his way to the back of the shuttle alongside Kesh, and after Kesh has thrown some stuff, he ignites his lightsaber, since he has switched Kesh's lightsaber crystal into his lightsaber hilt. It's red and corrupted-y. And he's gonna look at Kesh and be like, I have a good feeling about this. Just bear with me for a second. And he's gonna throw his lightsaber at Carl.
Oh god, it's not a viper ring, Koba.
Wait for it.
Scorekeeper?
Okay, so Carl. That's going to be fun. Carl would be at medium range still, because Carl has not gotten in. So, and he is adversary 3.
Sure.
And 1 defense.
Checks out. Yep. That'll do.
Technically, standard Inquisitor from...
Oh, 100%. If anybody should be an adversary 3, it's a Inquisitor.
Okay.
Well, that's a thing.
That sure was a roll that I made. Okay, so Koba uses Saber Throw, which lets me make a lightsaber check as a ranged combat attack against a target within medium range, rolling my force rating with it. I've got to use light side, dark side. I've got to use force points to make it get there and then make it return. I've got 4 light pips, so I think I'm good, but I got 2 fails, so it's not going to hit anything. I think it just sort of whirls around very flashy and then comes back as the saber just misses Carl.
I'm figuring, like, Carl is hanging by one hand from their Inquisitor lightsaber, that in the middle there's the handle, and otherwise the double-bladed lightsaber is just flailing around. So I'm thinking that he's, like, bringing up his feet or something, so that as your lightsaber comes in, he's able to dodge out of the way. But otherwise, yeah, it goes out and then comes back.
And yeah, I just double-checked. Me missing does not, like, make the saber get lost or anything like that.
Okay. So that worked out better than I expected. I didn't know you could move things with your mind, but sure.
Just the one thing, really. It's all in the wrist, or the ankle.
Okay. Well, Koba.
Wrist. With the advantages, if it's okay, Ben, I got 3 advantages. I would like to upgrade the difficulty of Carl's next action, as, you know, whatever maneuver he took to avoid the lightsaber does throw him off balance a little bit.
I am totally there for it.
Okay, Koba, that was impressive, but can you do this? If people don't mind me taking the next slot.
Yeah, go wild.
As Kesh will switch which hand is holding her staff, and we start to see that crackle of electricity, and I am going to unleash at Dallin.
Oh, at Dallin. Okay.
I'm guessing, since he had moved up before, is he within short range, or is he still at medium?
Dallin is at short range.
Perfect. So that's 3 yellow, a green. I'm going to aim with my maneuver again with 3 force dice versus a red, a purple, and a setback because he's adversary 2. Okay.
Gravy.
I rolled 5 successes, a threat, a light side pip, and 3 dark side pips. Does anybody mind if I spend our last one?
Let the hate flow through you.
Somehow I knew that was going to be the response. All right. And I want to spend some of these, absolutely. I am going to... I won't do much to them. That will, though. So I'm going to spend a light side pip and a dark side pip to activate Unleash. I'm going to spend another dark side pip to activate Ensnare 2, Ben. And then I think the last one, because why not? I'm going down this far, right? I'm
Okay.
going to spend to increase the damage by an additional 1. So that'll be another 10 damage hit with Ensnare 2.
I'm sorry, what? So you get 2 hits?
So that it is, by another I mean because I did about that equivalent last time with the move.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could unleash again immediately this turn. I'm not going to. So that will end up being 1, 2, 3, 4 conflict.
Oh, right. You get 1 just for doing it.
Yeah, just for doing it. As Kesh hits him, and with the ensnare, Dallin can't use any maneuvers for the next 2 turns.
Okay.
And that will mark Kesh's turn.
Now it's time for bad news.
Yep.
Yeah, I get the one time where Dallin might actually go. Haha. Since Dallin is close in, they've been pretty much doing the two-fisted superhero flight. And after throwing the vibroblade, they do have another one that's clipped to their belt, but because some silly person decided to use 2 on him at one time, he's at short range. Why wouldn't he? I'm figuring that the gentleman with quick draw, yeah, because that bypasses, doesn't it?
Yeah, that would bypass.
Yeah.
That would doesn't count as a maneuver, so yep.
He will then be using the vibro ring from his belt and trying to throw that at Cash
Okay.
because it is nice and close.
Okay, I have 1 defense.
Okay.
Guessing Dallin's tired of getting hit by me.
Just a little. Alright, he is not a force user, so I'm going to use a destiny point to upgrade. He's not Carl, so he doesn't get an upgrade to his difficulty. I'm going with that there's 2 people at a door, so that's going to give another cover.
Okay.
Setback, because that just makes sense to me. Because at best, he can only hit half of either of you.
Okay. Not gonna get the crit on that one, Ben. Oh, we also never spent the threat I generated.
It was only 1.
Okay.
I'm figuring that that's enough to just give you a single strain.
Okay.
He's not able to get a crit off of using that, but he gets 3 success, 2 threat on his roll, which gets 7 damage. Pierce 2.
Okay.
And it kind of sticks in Cash somewhere.
Alright, so a little bit of that makes it through. And yeah, I'm gonna guess then the vibro ring is safely inside of the shuttle with us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. This might be a little bit odd for the threat, but Kesh is going to pull it out of her and pass it to Koba. I think you lost this.
Great. Now I have both my vibro rings back too.
And that's how I'm going to have spent the threat as a maneuver in quotation marks.
I love that. All right, so that's Dallin. And then we have Carl.
Mm-hmm.
If Carl wasn't currently using his saber to keep himself aloft, he might try the whole doing the saber throw thing.
No, he can do that.
No, see what Carl should do.
He can do that if he wants.
Yeah, Carl should just stop, throw the saber, and just count on it to come back to him to then start having him fly again. It's kind of like how in Sonic the Hedgehog, you'll jump out of Tails' arms and just count on him to catch you again.
I mean, I do like that. I do like that guess, but technically he's going to be doing 2 move maneuvers just to get in and land on the bit of the entry ramp that is still sticking out.
Okay.
Effectively getting into short range with y'all, but actually being planted. But he is going to move, do something, and then move again. And that something is very close to what a Trandoshan had done.
Okay.
So he is going to be doing Unleash on Kesh.
Okay. I am everybody's least favorite person right now. I'm going to sense advantage, Ben, and add 2 more setbacks to that.
Okay, so that we're at 4.
Yep, 4, because I still have my staff that still gives me defensive, even if it doesn't have a fancy lightsaber blade anymore.
I'm not flipping a point right now because, well, there are many, many reasons why I could use one later.
I don't like that.
So that's 4 setback. difficulty because that's
Yep.
a base power of the check. Oh, right. And then I toss in force rating.
Yes.
Okay. This is a cash level check.
Pete's sake.
Okay, so you are going to have to flip that point if you want to activate
Yeah,
it.
I am.
So what did you get?
Oh, I'm sorry to jump in here. You didn't upgrade his check,
Dang, you're right.
the difficulty of his check.
All right, I'm just going to roll the difficulty dice again, not the setback. We'll leave
Sure.
the setback frozen and reconfigure based on... So he doesn't hit,
Okay.
which means you don't get the dark side point.
Okay.
A revised, what did he get? Because that way we're all on the same page. It is 1 failure, 4 advantage, 4 light side, and 1 dark side point. Because he missed, he's doing lightning at the back of the shuttle and it doesn't hit. Or Cash or Koba are able to deflect it. I mean, damage isn't getting through. It's going to look pretty epic otherwise. So, Kesh has her metal arm out and it's going along that and getting grounded to the shuttle itself, going into the door, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not actually hitting Kesh. Does have 4 advantage, though. So I am thinking that I'm going to go with Kesh gets a setback to the next roll Kesh makes,
Okay.
and he is not burning 2 strain to get to the back door.
Okay.
So has he landed now?
Yeah, he is now landed, and he's not engaged, but he's at the edge of engage and short.
But he's no longer helicoptering.
He's no longer helicoptering. He's got the twin lightsaber at his side.
Super.
Yep.
So I have 2 questions.
Absolutely.
Actually, I have 3. I'm sorry. The first question is, so he landed on top of the ship, or he landed on the edge of the landing ramp or something? Trying to get a visual of where he is.
So a sheathopede has a pair of doors that close that Cash and Kobar are standing at, which actually are bigger than I had thought, but also has a landing ramp that jets out from under the floor and then folds down to hit whatever thing that they've landed on. So it's a nice ramp going up and down. So the doors themselves have partially closed, and the ramp has partially retracted. So...
And he's in the doorway?
He's just in front of the doorway.
Okay. My second question is, Skip being in the pilot seat, if Skip looks over their shoulder, can Skip see Carl, or is there some other sort of surveillance system where Skip can see via a view screen the back door?
You'd be able to look over your shoulder and see the back door. The interior of these shuttles is pretty just straight out.
Would you say it's tubular?
Totally.
My third question is mechanics. When I commit something, if I have to, commit the light side points to up my agility, do I have to then roll and that tells me how many I can commit, or I can just set aside any number of my points that I of my potential pool to commit
so
things?
If you're committing a die to...
Then, okay, it's committing a die, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're committing a die, you're just taking that die from your pool and
Perfect.
setting it aside.
You know what? I am gonna commit one to yeah, I'm gonna commit one. Then the reason for all of that questioning and upping my piloting is that Skip is gonna look over their shoulder, see that Carl is sort of on the edge of, getting into the ship, and is going to yell back, and realizing for a blip of a moment that they've never actually expressed to any of their, quest mates any sort of, hey, this word means, get down or whatever, and I'm confusing the bad guys. They're just gonna yell out, hey everyone, pineapple! And
What?
yep, exactly. And then is going to jerk the ship as roughly as they can, in hopes that maybe they knock Carl off. And in hopes that yelling out something random at everyone will maybe make them pay attention to the fact that Skip is doing something and maybe grab onto something.
I'm spending a dark side point on the roll. So you're doing a pilot space.
Yeah.
Using the shuttle to try and throw him off of the shuttle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, this will be pilot space. The difficulty on it, because I used the destiny point, is 2 red. Because of the damage of it, I'm going to give you a setback. But the ship itself natively gives you a boost
Nice.
Okay.
because we're using its handling.
And I have enhance and I have control piloting space. So I can roll. Hold on, let me copy paste this roll that I've already started creating and instead roll. I only have 2. Okay, grr! I've rolled only dark side points.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I am still gonna use it. Okay, so now I'm putting my...
It's okay, join us. We're just all gonna fall.
I mean,
after
you
this
can see what you technically roll those at the same time as the rest of the rolls, so you can see how the roll goes.
Yeah.
It's fine. I rolled yellow, green, 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 boost, red, red, black, and I got 4 success and 1 threat. I think that means I'm not going to use the dark side point.
Yeah, unless you just really want to.
I don't feel like I need to.
Describe how the shuttle moves, but yes, you are tossing Carl off the back of the ship.
The way I see it, since I got 4 successes, is that Skip is going to very abruptly jerk the ship left in like a left turn, in hopes that it will sort of trip Carl out the door. I do feel like because there's a threat, like that probably whichever of my fellow players is closest to the door maybe also has to try not to fall out. But the hope was that Carl would lose his footing and because of inertia fall out in the way that the ship was supposed to be, heading. Inertia's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could also just beat up the ship, which is already having a hard day.
The ship's being nice to me right now.
Skip's like, don't listen to her. It's okay, ship.
Yeah, I'll go with a coordination, vigilance, or athletics check for...
Difficulty?
And who is it affecting?
Well, I do feel that since Kesh actually looked over at Skip and said, "What?" in reaction to Pineapple, maybe Kesh noticed that Skip's hands were on the, wheel, looking very purposeful, and so maybe Koba, having cruelly ignored Skip's incredibly useful call out of the word pineapple, was probably Koba.
See, I feel like the threat's on you, so I think it should work the other way around.
Yeah, but also, I've been doing a lot of stuff to Cash, so might as well have Koba do something.
Oh, I desire for this to be me.
Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna go with... It's a wild, wacky ride. This feels like it should be a one of each, a red, a purple, and a setback.
Okay.
And I'll even toss in a dark side point to get that red.
And you'll accept coordination?
Yep. I will totally accept coordination.
I'm gonna flip a light side point.
Fair.
I am just so excited that I get to be doing something else in a fight other than shooting. I've been pretty excited to be doing anything resembling piloting this whole game because I took pilot stuff, so I'm happy.
Good for you. That is exciting. Also, that's also a cool thing to do. So, double whammy awesome.
I was definitely hoping something like this would happen. Well, I took conditioned, but since last session, because I had to. to get where I was going, and I was like, I'm never going to use this, but you know what it does? Remove setback from coordination.
I mean, I didn't know that, so thank you.
Shows what I know.
Hello, talent bingo.
It also reduces fall damage.
It does. Hopefully I won't need to use that part.
I mean, falling from extreme range.
Yeah, my one rank of coordination will save my life. It's like 50 wounds. Okay, but what if I have one rank of coordination? 49 wounds. Okay, on that coordination, Koba got 1 success and 1 threat.
Huh. Well then.
He's conditioned, as it happens.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the strain off of that.
Spaceships are like trees. Could you tell me, please, what happens to Carl specifically?
He is going to be upended and slides off the side. It takes him a few moments before he's able to get his lightsaber going again. He is now below and back about short range from the shuttle, but is still following.
In those moments, since I succeeded on coordination, could I use that success not to keep myself in the ship, but control which way I go?
You're wanting to land on Carl?
I basically want to land on Carl, ideally before he actually ignites his lightsaber.
That is certainly a request.
I'm happy to make a different roll, or if that ship has sailed, that's also fine.
I'm kind of thinking that at least for the moment that ship has sailed.
Okay.
After he gets back up into their, back up at the same level, if you want to try and jump and get him, sure. But at least at this moment.
I don't think I have the skill to plausibly make the situation happen myself.
At least for the moment, yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
We have at least got him off the ship a little bit. We're just starting the round over, basically. It's fine. It's a do-over.
Then we get to the Galerius Hillary.
How does a co-pilot roll work?
I'm sorry, Hillary, but Gudge is my co-pilot. I'm kidding. It's fine. I'll be over here now.
Excuse me, Hillary's going to unbuckle his seatbelt, throw his hands in the air, and then walk away.
I'm kidding!
Yeah, it would be just a average pilot space check
Okay.
on account of pilot spaceship. And doing that would then, if I remember right, reduce the difficulty of the next piloting check.
I think that is true. I think it's a difficulty reduction and not an upgrade or downgrade.
Yeah.
Okay. That, I believe, is what I shall do, then. So, Hillary will grab the cinematically required second yoke and frantically tap at things and try and help restabilize after the very cool move.
Yeah, okay.
You said 2 purple?
Well, I'm going to make a purple and a red because, well, I have so many points.
Jerk. That's fair. Also,
So many points.
so many shenanigans going on right now in this poor old ship.
That too.
Woohoo! That's 3 green, a red, and a purple for 1 success and 2 advantage. So, Hillary will, as Skip does the cool thing, the whole front end kind of starts shaking, which makes it kind of a little awkward to manage. So Hillary will activate the second yoke and kind of kick at the console to try and reactivate some of the basic stabilizers that would come into play, like safety things. And he's not saying anything because he is horrified of looking out back, which he just did as Skip tried to dump them. So he's vibrating with anxiety right now, and he's just buttons, kicking, steering, and manages somehow to reignite a safety system that has an auto leveling feature or something.
Nice. Very nice. There are 2 advantages. Is there anything you're wanting to do with those?
I would like to thematically appropriate throw a boost to Skip as well.
Oh?
Boost. I will attempt to catch that there boost.
Maybe you should ask your co-pilot for it.
Well, Dallin can't use maneuvers this turn.
Correct. And how do... I haven't. I need to maybe I need to look up the actual text. How does ensnare work with an enhanced nemesis? It would be it would be like two of his
Two of their
turns, right?
activations.
Yeah. So then what? It should affect him one more the next round, but wouldn't affect him at the bottom of the next one.
That's what I'm thinking.
That makes sense to me.
I think that's correct.
Okay. So yeah, so no maneuvers still.
That being said, he does have quick draw.
Yep.
And he does have a bog standard E11 blaster rifle because someone was mean and cut up his slug thrower. And he's going to be using that to fire into the back. Yeah, at this particular point, he just pretty much has it in for cash.
Okay. That's fair. So I have one defense again. I'm going to flip back then. To make it to give you a red.
I mean, fair. And with the partially closed doors, I'm giving
a step back. All right. Kesh gets ready to dodge. And
Ooh.
succeeds! As the bolt slides off of her armor.
one of those times where the armor does completely work. Wow.
Yeah, it kind of like deflects off part of the ramp, impacts like the shoulder of the refurbished like Markov armor, and she's like, "Okay, I'm fine." It was a close call, but
He does get one advantage out of the whole roll. And I am thinking with that, he is going to use that to get one of the strain back that he had. Because he hadn't completely healed from the previous encounter.
okay. Well, you know what? Neither have I.
That's not a thing to boast about.
I don't understand.
And being a fictional Xi'an expert is something to boast about.
Luck you.
Oh, Saber's thrown.
Carl is going to be doing something probably strategically a better idea.
Okay.
And he is going to, because he got thrown to short range, he's going to move closer, but instead of trying to go for the little landing pad that's on the outside that he was able to get to before, he is going to essentially double move up onto the top of the sheathopede, and there's a hatch on the top of the sheathopede just in front of the fin that leads down inside, like a Millennium Falcon style for irisy things.
Okay, so he Carl's kind of getting himself set up there.
Yeah, he's flying up to the top so that he may still be thrown off, but at least this time he's got something he can catch, like grab onto, hopefully.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he's really just sort of moving, and then you hear the clang of boots on the roof of the shuttle, which,
Where is this hatch relative to us? Does the hatch just let into the cargo area? Does it let into the cockpit?
It leads into the cargo area. If I'm remembering the interior of the shuttle correctly, there's, on both sides, there's 2 seats next to the raised cockpit area, then a ladder going up, and then 3 seats, and then the back hatch, and where the crates and that were. There's a ladder just a little bit forward of the middle that leads up to the hatch on the top. So it'd be essentially short range. It wouldn't take that long for any of you to get there.
Should we start the round off with some more fancy piloting?
I really had been expecting the Cash and Koba show to kick his butt a little bit more or something.
He can fly.
Kesh does have a suggestion for Skip, maybe on the piloting thing.
Sure, yell out pineapple and figure out if they understand.
Brakes!
Oh, I was thinking pineapple upside down cake.
Oh. I was thinking about Dallon's continuing to fly forward and Carl's on the front, and maybe it could affect both of them.
No, that's actually brilliant.
I like it. I like that better than the barrel roll.
Then, yeah, Skip will...
I mean, Carl does qualify as a Silhouette 1 object.
For a blip of a moment, it's very clear to the camera that Skip has scrunched their eyebrows in just a way where they're like, what's breaking? I don't... Oh. And then we'll pull up on the I don't know terms of parts of anything.
Yoke.
Handlebar? Yoke. Pull up on the yoke and try to stop real short. Sorta. Working on that whole inertia thing again.
All right. So this time it would be a purple setback and a boost
Just a purple?
because of Hillary.
I helped. Surprising, perhaps no more to anyone than I.
Is that boost counting the boost that Hillary threw to me because I have?
Oh no, that is not.
Okay, so that's another boost.
Oh, so you did catch it. That's good.
Could have rolled for it, but we'll see. So I'm going to roll several things. Yellow, green, green, green. Purple, setback, boost, boost, white, white. Pew! And I have rolled 3 successes, 2 advantage, and I don't need to use any of those magic wizard points. I don't think we're good.
No, you do have a light side point, which doesn't cost you anything to use, so...
Yeah.
So that means it just gives me 1 more success?
Or advantage.
I think it's success or advantage. I think it's your choice.
Yeah, it is.
Success, sure, I'll just overkill this. Woo. So 4 success, 2 advantage to kick on the brakes. This poor old ship.
We see if Carl is able to catch himself before he gets flung forward. And I'll also do one. I'll do a similar-ish one for Dallin, but slightly differently.
Piloting planetary, I guess, for a jetpack.
That makes sense to me.
That does make sense. Okay, he's just trying to find something to grab onto. So, yeah, he's just doing a vigilance to try and grab onto something before Skip starts doing something wacky. This is Carl.
What the... Sorry.
Nuts.
Well, Carl did well.
Carl did well. He did
Oh, golly.
5 success, so he's able to stay put. He did get 2 threat, and he got a triumph. It's like he's been trying to get what all of the 4 of you do down. The only thing I can think of for a triumph is that he's able to grab on his lightsabers in the other hand. At this point would be parallel to the ground instead of stabbing into it, because that seems not advantageous since he's on the thing. Like, he's leaning more and more into the giant fin coming off of the top of the sheathopede. He steps in just the right place to open the door for the hatch, so the swing of the roof hatch opens for him.
All right.
That's about the only thing I can come up with for the triumph.
Makes sense to me.
Still saves him a maneuver, so
Yeah.
What, oh what, shall thou do with the 2 threat?
maybe a setback die because, Carl is being thrown every which way by the ship.
Okay.
I mean, we could also inflict some strain for the same reason.
That's also fair.
I mean, both work. Which one do you want?
It's up to you, Ren, I think.
Yep.
But why is it up to me?
Because
your
your
roll.
roll is what did this.
Fine.
We're throwing you under the shuttlepede, or whatever Ben's calling it.
The shuttlepede.
Sheathopede is the name of this kind of shuttle.
Just
mean,
like Shuttlepede.
Strain seems fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Strain is handy against Force users because it limits their ability to activate pits.
I sort of stopped paying attention to things that would strain out enemies because I'm no longer Vestrano. But yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
All right, and then Dallin is going to try and maneuver so that he's not hitting the back of the ship.
To the face.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have, one more PC?
Give me 1 sec. I'm going to do his roll.
Okay.
They've got to see what Dallin does.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because Dallin could be at, no distance to you on account of he face plants right next. Okay, so that's that. I was doing a hard check because why not? I'm going to toss in a setback because he is currently ensnared.
Actually, no, because it was ensnare 2, and Dallin's had 2 turns while ensnared. So I think Dallin's okay.
Indeed.
He's still pretty
Sorry.
focused on Kesh, though, rather than the ship.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he doesn't succeed and gets 3 threat.
Look, jetpacks are not made for turning super quickly. They also have a tendency to, I don't know, explode. So could that 3 threat be damage to the jetpack? Like Jango Fett style, like there's from the impact?
Okay, so it won't turn on again?
Up to you to interpret damaged. I obviously wasn't thinking Dallin falls to his death off a 3 threat or anything, but one of those things where if Dallin does manage to get in the ramp...
I think if he comes into the ship, if he crashes into the hold and it messes up his jetpack so he can't fly again, that's
useful.
Maybe handy.
What I'm envisioning is Skip throttles down, slams on the brakes, and Dallin essentially just can't really get out of the way and clips like a shoulder, or he's trying to spin to go sideways through the door because he thinks he's a fighter craft or something, and clips his jetpack on the way through, thus causing him damage, but also he's in the ship now, lying prone, sort of at short range to everybody, but now his backpack no longer works, and he has taken the damage from face planting.
Okay.
That's okay, he wasn't using that face anyway.
Alright, so then yes, we do have one PC to go before they get to go.
I think it can be anybody but Skip.
What?
Skip took the first turn of the round.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, so it could be anybody else now.
Oh, I got really turned around then. I thought I went...
Well, you went third in the first round, first in the second, so we changed things up.
I thought I was third again. I'm confused.
No.
Okay.
Nope. So this is a point where Koba, Kesh, or Hillary could go.
Mm-hmm.
Do either of you have any strong thoughts or feelings on the matter?
I kind of want to see what Carl does.
Okay, then I can deal with Dallin as I've continued to. I probably should, right? Why not? What does it matter if I fall into the dark side? It's fine.
I mean, that is a theory.
Wait, so his jetpack is his jetpack broken? Is that what it doesn't work anymore?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, I guess you could fall to the dark side.
I think you and I just had 2 very different thoughts.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm guessing you wanted me to throw him out of the ship?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And it looks like that's what Leslie was thinking.
Well, my first thought was actually going to be, hey, use Unleash like What's-His-Face did and hit 2 targets. But then I'm like, no, it'd be cooler if we gave him the Disney villain death.
Yeah, just fling him out of the ship again. I mean, ultimately, that just means that we don't ever see the body, and Ben can have him show up again with
what fun is that?
some story about how he survived.
Pretty much. Mothra catches him.
Yeah.
You know what?
And now Mothra's his friend, and we have to fight Mothra also.
Oh no!
What's the range band to Carl as well?
You would have to reposition to see Carl, because right now Carl is there's physically chip between you and Carl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carl is on the roof right now, and close to where he is, but you can't really see him without moving.
Okay. Sorry, Leslie, I can't unleash and hit 2 targets then.
I mean, it sounded like a cool idea, maybe in the future.
It did sound like a cool idea. I just can't do it right now. I was thinking about using Unleash at point blank range, and
Just send a powerful electric charge through the entire hull of the ship.
well, now you're making me rethink this idea.
Wasn't a serious suggestion because I assume we'd all also get hit.
Yeah.
But maybe we're less conductive? I don't know. We'll find out, right?
I'm not wearing any fancy metal bits, so
I mean, come on. I'm amphibious, and everyone knows what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning.
Well, isn't the problem that it's the same thing that happens to everything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, crap.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah, it would be bad for everybody. We're all made of everything else.
It's amazing how that works.
Okay. What's my how far away is Koba from me?
I mean, he just handed me vibro ring. I assume
Well, you
we're
got
at most
thrown
short.
around then, so I'm assuming we're still pretty close, though.
I've essentially been treating you like you've been engaged because you've been going out a partially closed door.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing is not. There's not enough room back here for us to be appreciably far apart.
Okay. I don't feel like it's time for the Disney movie villain death. Not yet, anyway. We might get there. So I think then I am going to make use of, first up, Force is my ally. I'm going to try to protect Koba and myself.
All right.
Talking that out also bought me time to look up my original staff's stats. That way I could possibly use it in a second here. A setback die thanks to Carl, I think? Dylan? Somebody did this to me.
It was one of them when they attacked you.
It was
Yeah.
Carl.
Okay. I think that's everything, so let's go.
Ooh, yeah.
2 successes and 6 light side points.
So what did you actually decide on doing?
I'm protecting.
Okay, this is just protecting.
This is protecting. On Koba was the primary target, and then I'm going to extend it to myself. So that'll be 2 pips to activate.
Okay. So then you get 4 pips,
1 pip for magnitude.
which makes it for the 2 of you.
2 pips to reflect all attacks that are reduced to 0 damage back to the attacker.
Okay, fair.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't get any advantages.
Well,
And then 1 pip to have it affect all types of attacks, not just energy.
Yay!
right.
And since no dark side was generated, it also applies to all attacks for the round.
Huh.
Wow.
That's actually pretty impressive. How much damage does that apply to?
It'll reduce the damage to Koba and Kesh by 6. If we manage to reduce an attack to 0 damage, it is reflected back at the attacker.
Cool.
Okay, that was my maneuver.
Good
My
gravy.
action. I'm going to hit down with a stick.
I mean, okay. Get a boost for him being on the ground? Prone?
I will
Prone,
take that
that is
boost.
All right.
It's 2 reds and a setback.
2 reds, setback. Yes.
I'm gonna flip. Get that extra yellow. And miss with 1 advantage.
So, in that case, he also pulls you're like sliding off of his armor.
Yeah, the armor just deflects the staff, and Kesh badly misses the actual lightsaber blade at the moment, and I will pass. You know what? I'm not going to pass anything. I'm going to get a strain back. I need it.
Yeah, do it.
Did just use a bunch.
And that'll be Kesh's turn.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates on Twitter at The Hydian Way, and you can find me, Ben, on Twitter at Deuterium Ice.
I'm on Twitter at Blue of the Kin.
I'm at LesletGS, also apparently on the moon.
And I'm at 12th Night. That's 1-2 TH and Night with a K. And I did almost skip Leslie's turn.
And for those of you that have been following along the riveting saga of what will Ren change their Twitter at to this time, I've finally figured it out thanks to Leslie. You can find me on Twitter at Ren Out of Time.
He's
Nice.
altering his handle. Pray he doesn't alter it any further.
Out of time.
And we are all at thehydianway.com, where you can find previous episodes.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
We are also on Facebook as The Hydian Way. You can holocom us at heroes@thehydianway.com.
If you like what we do and you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/thehydianway.
Or you can send Skip some, power steering fluid or something for this wreck at ko-fi.com/thehydianway.
Headlight fluid.
Too
Yeah,
real.
I thought of that joke too.
Thanks for picking up on the Zuckus thing. I was for a couple beats of time.
It was
somebody
so
was
hard.
Just gonna like sit there and not say that. I'm like, come
it was
on.
so hard not to jump in and be like, "You mean Illencav?"
I was waiting for an Zuckus.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I was also waiting. I also thought about doing that, but I figured I would spare Ben.
I mean, it would have been hilarious on account of it. Then there's 2 bounty hunters that both dislike Zuckus.
Yeah.
I would have just left it as Cash also being
See,
anti-Zuckus.
that would have been, but that wouldn't have been the same. I think she's already been like okay with Zuckus. I think that's something that we've joked about before.
That does sound correct.
Maybe? I don't remember.
I'm just thinking of Christine says, ugh, Zuckus, and then we all pause and it's like, oh, when did that Gand get here?
Yeah. All right. That comic was hilarious, though.
Oh, yeah. Zuckus must die. Yes.
Oh.
I was going to say that looks like a Lego ship, and then I realized it's the Lego
is.
ship.
Yeah.
Okay, the Sheathipede. Sheathipede. That's what I was looking for. Yes.
I like it.
Not,
Oh, wrong dice, Ben.
I'm okay with it, though. I'll allow it.
You're so
Oh, no.
giving. That's less awesome.
I have 9 conflict for me. Did I miss one? I might have missed one because I don't know if I added to my total last.
I miscounted for Hillary, but yeah, I might be off by 1 for today.
Yeah, it's also possible I forgot to add the 1 to my total from the move earlier. I'm not sure, so I'm happy to put it at 10.
That would have been.
I'm definitely somewhere in that high number category.
He got 1 success, 2 advantage, 4 light side, and 1 dark side. He is a dark side force user, so he uses dark side pips to start with. To use Unleash, you need to use 2 pips to start with. So base, he's doing 6 damage and has 2 advantage left over, but can't really do anything with that.
Okay, so so he's not doesn't have mastery.
Which do you mean by mastery? Oh, where it drops the crit rating?
Yeah.
The best way to describe Carl mechanically is Inquisitor from the build an Inquisitor in the NPC section of Force and Destiny.
Gotcha.
Plus all the Dawn of Rebellion Inquisitor stuff to let him fly.
Okay. Well, then, if it was 6 damage, then Cash takes 1 wound off of that. So she's not... That didn't get through too much, but it did get through.
He does have some upgrades. He just doesn't have the mastery.
Okay.
So if I'm flipping, I have 3 more pips to work with.
Okay.
Or points. So he has to use 2 to do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to increase it by any range bands because he's that short.
Yep.
May spend 1 force point to cause the attack to deal 3 extra damage.
Okay. Are you doing that?
I am going to do that once
Okay.
to cause a grand total of 9 damage. And the other thing that he can do, may spend a force point to affect 1 additional target within range.
Yep. I figured
Which
you were
would be
going to go
fun.
for that.
Oh, I'm sorry to jump in here. You didn't upgrade his check.
Dang, you're right.
The difficulty of his check.
Well, all right. I'm just going to roll the difficulty dice again, not the setback. We'll leave
Sure.
the setback frozen and reconfigure based on...
But then, okay, so then it was a 9 damage hit, right?
Yeah,
Right,
it
Sen?
was a 9 damage, but now he can't hit.
Right. That's what I'm gotta
Yeah.
retract the damage I took.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. So
also,
then-
because of that, I'll also retract the dark
Yeah.
side, or the dark side point use. Because
Nope.
there's no point.
I'm happier to have those wounds back right now.
Okay, I have a question that's bothered me for a long time here. Without leadership talents, what good is leadership?
Limited, there are still circumstances where leadership would be useful in a general sense, such as like trying to. Actually, a lot of the stuff that Hillary usually does with charm would be done with leadership, also, or instead, as the case may be, when it comes to like leading crowds to do things. That's usually not like in the domain of charm, but I think we generally play like there's a less division. Also, I think it covers a certain amount of operating within military structures, though that sometimes is knowledge warfare as well. Yeah, not a ton of things. Leadership is primarily useful for talents.
Yeah, and as Brandon was saying, also, like, group charm is the other way I've looked at it.
Yeah. Like riling a crowd to do something is leadership.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no specific goal in mind in asking that question, but it is something I've looked at and thought about a lot because it feels kind of useless a lot of the time.
Oh, you can also use leadership. Leadership has a function where you can use leadership to heal fear.
Right. Yeah.
If another character is experiencing the effects of a fear check, you can use leadership to make that go away.
Okay.